Hello, everybody. My name is Lewis Lee, and this is Plan in Traffic. And this is our 10th year doing this Plan in Traffic. So we're celebrating it all year long. So please join us and tell your friends and family what we do. Hey, Ray, how's it going?
Excellent, Lewis. Yes, it's 10 years flies. And I'm very happy and fortunate to be part of it for 8. So yeah, where'd that time go? Who knows? But
Right. We appreciate you being with us.
yeah, it's
Or
like we
being,
always say about everything of this nature. When it stops being fun, that's when we stop doing it.
yep, that's
So
true.
far, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. So Sunday we had Stacy David on, and always a great guest. He's
Yeah,
the OG of the industry.
right.
So yeah,
Yeah,
we had a good time.
I was talking to Joey Collins on the phone during the week, and he was catching me up. And then I caught a bit of it on YouTube. I have to get back and finish watching it.
Uh,
Of course, anything it all looked good. So, but I want to devote some time to it. So, what was the recap?
well, we talked about different different year trucks. You know how the square bodies are starting to play out a little bit, and they're moving towards the OBS
Uh-huh.
and
And OBS again was refresh my memory on that.
old body style.
Old body stuff. That's so generic. You know,
Yeah,
it is just so generic. I always expect an acronym to be like very specific, but
yeah. You would think it would be for the square bodies, but
yeah. Well, now I'm
that's
thinking if
old.
you're not talking square bodies, but you're talking old body style, I'm thinking pre-square body,
Yeah.
which are the ones I really like, the round fended trucks.
Yeah, I like those too. The
Oh, they're great.
50s, early 60s.
Even I'll tell you, even go back to like the 20s.
Hmm.
Ford had some real like rounded roof cabs and rounded. Those trucks to me were like just gorgeous. Kind of tight inside though. You might have trouble fitting in one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, my dad had a 40. I want to say it was a 48 Ford,
Okay.
and it was kind of tight in there.
I remember a good friend of mine has he's got a Model A, a 32 Model A, all
Hmm.
original. His wife has a 32 Model A stake bed truck, but and I'd ridden with it, and we're about the same size, so we're smaller and shorter than you for sure, and we're almost shoulder to shoulder in this car,
Oh yeah.
and but if you look at the body style, it's a V. The back seat has plenty of room. It's
Hmm.
it's it's at least
Opens up. Yep.
a good person or a person and a half wider than the front. I mean, two big guys in the front of that car are going to look like Laurel and Hardy. It's going to look.
Well, that's the car you take when you're trying to get to know a future girlfriend.
Right. You don't need a bench seat because it has bucket seats in it too.
Right.
But you don't need a bench in those cars. They're deceivingly narrow in the front, unless you've ever been in one. And even worse than that is try and drive one. You know,
Yeah.
I
That's
remember
terrible.
one time I had ridden with him as a passenger many times, and then he came to my house. We were going down by the beach to a cruise event down by the beach, and we're walking back out to his car, and he hands me the keys. He says, "Here, like what? We get something out of it." He goes, "No, you drive it. You ever drive a Model A?" I said, "No, I never have. Not a stock Model A."
Hmm.
He says, "Good. Well, you're in for a lesson." And it's got a spark advance. The starter is all different with the foot. It's got got mechanical brakes with rods. So, and his was always set up very well, so it stopped good. But still, he says, as we're driving, he says, "Well, you see that stop sign?" He says, "You better start thinking about that now because
Yeah.
don't think you're going to brake like you would in your regular car because you'll be through that stop sign."
Yep.
Uh, yeah, very true. You got to really telegraph your stops, and then and double clutch. You got to double clutch it for every shift. So I picked it up. Yeah, I picked up the hang of it. It was kind of cool. It was a lot of work. It really was a lot of work,
Right.
but it was cool. It was like being back in time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're fun to drive until you hit 15, 16 different turns. Then your arms start to get tired.
that too. Big wheel. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, him and the Model A Club, they would do road trips, and some of the guys had overdrive. He was always considering it because top speed's like 45 miles an hour. I mean, you can maybe hit 50 with a bit of a backwind and a hill.
Hmm.
His wife's truck had the overdrive, and he says, "Oh yeah, it was a lot nicer to drive." You know, so
That's nice.
but it was funny because one day we did that drive. I drove back and forth, and then I had to get in my car. I had to run and do my radio show. It was a Sunday, and I hopped in my Fiat. Now my Fiat's no rocket ship by any means, but I felt like I got into a Ferrari. I really did.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a 4-cylinder with a 5-speed, but the thing felt like I was doing 100 miles an hour. The brakes felt great, which I'm always complaining about. The transmission felt tight. The steer, I mean, everything was just like, so it's all perception, you know, it's all perception.
Yep. So we also talked about he's working on, I can't remember the name of it. It has tracks, vehicle with tracks on it.
Oh, okay, like an ATV type thing, or a no, an MPV. I think they call
like
it.
a
Military vehicle.
military, yeah.
Yeah. Like a
So-
half track.
Yeah, half track. He said he has one that's like one of 3 left in the country, or maybe
Wow.
the world, I guess. So he's working on a couple different things.
Joey was telling me that there was an episode where somebody, a truck, somebody copied his Copperhead truck
Yeah.
and
Yep.
sold at auction, trying to pass it off as Stacy's truck. I found that story amazing. Yeah, I want to
yeah.
know more about that.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to see that part of it, you can go back to YouTube and watch the episode, last week's episode. So I was down in Alabama at a car show,
Mhm.
and I see Copperhead. So I'm like, oh wow, there's Copperhead. So I text Stacy. I'm like, hey, I'm down here, you know, at this car show, and I see Copperhead. He goes, oh really? So I sent him pictures of it, and he texts me back. He goes, that's not it. That's a copy. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, the wheels are wrong. And he goes, go look at the motor. I went and looked at the motor. I'm like, hey, this ain't the motor.
Yeah.
So, you know, in Copperhead, he had those valve covers with the Copperhead on it,
Right.
and so he goes, no, that's a replica. He goes, plus I know the guy that owns the real one. And he
No
goes,
fooling.
yeah, he says it's part of the family. He goes, that guy's never getting rid of that truck. He goes, it's in his will.
Okay.
He goes, he likes the truck so much. The guy that owns it owns a trucking company, and I think he has like 30 or 40 trucks. And he said he painted them all the same color, that Copperhead color.
So
That's how
did
much he likes the truck.
he commissioned the build to copy it?
No, the guy that owns the original Copperhead,
Yeah.
Stacy knows him, and
Okay.
and that guy, he liked Copperhead so much, he painted all his semi trucks
Okay.
the color Copperhead. So
I thought you said the guy who had the clone had the original. I misunderstood.
no. So the guy that has the clone, he's telling me, oh yeah, this is Copperhead, blah blah blah. So just a couple of weeks ago, I guess, or maybe it wasn't maybe it was last year sometime. It goes across Barrett Jackson,
Mhm.
or maybe it's Meekum, one of the two. So it goes across, and Stacy sees it, or somebody tells him that, hey, it's going across. You know, Copperhead's going across. He goes, no, that's not it. So he calls the auction and says, hey, that's not the original truck. It's a fake.
Yeah.
So they still let it go through. So,
Oh, really?
So this guy ends up paying 60 or 70,000 for this truck. That's fake, right? So the guy gets a hold of Stacy, or somehow they get together talking about it, and Stacy's like, no, that's not the truck. And so Stacy said, listen, I'm going to do an episode on my show, and I'm going to have the original Copperhead here at the shop. Can I borrow your truck and put it side by side and show people the difference of the copy and the real? But he said the copy was really good, well done. It was, a really nice truck. So once he did that, then the guy that bought the fake one was like, oh, now it's worth something because it's on the show. The original guy that built, so now he keeps it and he loves it.
So, it reminds me of a saying I remember hearing all through my life growing up. It's like with the Japanese, all the stuff that when we had stuff that was made by the Japanese back when we were, kids, we used to call it Jap junk, which ended up being the really good, like the stereos. And still, like, you should see what 70s vintage stereos are bringing on the market these days. You'd
and the bikes.
Exactly. Now, I don't think they have gone up. Yes. So anyway, But we always said the Japanese now, like the Chinese and other Asians, that like we're the innovators, they're the imitators. So we would
Yeah.
make something and they would knock it off and then
Yep.
sell it at like, a fraction of the price. And they're pretty damn good at doing it too. I mean, look at, that's how the TV market and the stereo market, that's how all of that took off because they were very good at copying things.
Yep.
So yeah, another builder could copy somebody else's work. I don't doubt that. I know some guys who are that talented. But at the end of the day, you have a copy. You don't have the you don't
Right.
have the real thing. But it depends what you want to do, I guess. If you just want to go through life and
Mhm.
just thinking you got the right thing, sure. But if you start pawning it off, as the original, now it's libelous. Now you're
Right.
not doing the right thing. I'm
He said
surprised they
that-
didn't go after the guy.
Well, I don't know if the guy, I don't know what happened with him in the auction or what, but the guy
Well,
loved the truck now.
I'll tell you a story. I got a couple of really good friends who are retired auto crimes detectives from the city. And this is going back around 2009. The one guy sends me a text at like 10 at night. He says, "Hey, you watching the auction?" It was Barrett Jackson down in Florida. I said, "Yeah, I am." He goes, "Well, car number, lot number, whatever, J295." He goes, "Never going to go over the lot." And I knew he was looking at the time to buy, he was looking at Roadrunners and Cudas. So I said, "Why?" He goes, it's a convertible Hemi Cuda. So I said, "Oh, you decided to buy it?" I figured, he found it and made a deal with the guy before it went up on the block. He says, "No, it's a fake." And he was there and he spotted a couple inconsistencies. And then Galen Govier, who was at the time the e-body guy in the country, he was there. So he got called over. He spotted another couple things. And between the two of them, they grabbed the auction people and pled their case. They called the local auto crimes cops. They came, took the car off, and it was he didn't tell me, he never did tell me who it was, but he said it was a shop that was very well known. It was they built a lot of cars, and the guy didn't need to do that because he had like a very, very thriving business. So I don't know what happened. I know that guy was prosecuted and
Wow.
yeah, because it was, I mean, at that time, those cars were going for like $1 million, or $1 million plus. So, and they were able to prove that it was fake. And so again, unfortunately, I don't know what the rest of the story is because then I guess it went through the courts, litigation, plea bargaining, all of that stuff. I don't know. But I said to him, I said, you never rest, right? I mean, you're retired, first of all. You're not doing this for a living anymore. He still does insurance fraud stuff, but not that. I said, it just never shuts off, does it? He goes, no. He goes, once you're trained to look for stuff, he goes, that's all you do.
Yep.
And so they're out there. These guys are out there all the time, just knocking
Yeah.
stuff off.
People rather use their talents for evil than to build something nice for
Well,
themselves.
in that regard, it gets easier. Well, you can't make something that exists. Like I think the Hemi Cuda convertible, I don't remember if this one had a 4-speed. 4-speed, I think there was like 7 of them. Convertibles maybe like 14. So you can't make any more. You just can't do it. They don't exist. But you can clone one. You could make a clone.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. Altered the numbers and everything. And it was just like
Right.
to the highest degree. But yeah. But yeah, builders like Stacy and other guys who think from their creative epicenter, from their mind. I mean, you're stealing their creative genius, their thought process, not only the hands-on work, but their actual, the whole impetus of the build, which is, it's been proven that, hey, and the courts have proved like, yeah, you can't do that. It's like writing a song. I just watched a video about how certain songs sound like others and which ones are worse. And the argument is, in music, chords and progressions are all kind of open, and unless it's a blatant ripoff, you can't say that it was stolen because you just chose to use a chord progression. And it gets into a lot of gray area, is what it does. And usually by the time if it comes down, if people looking to prosecute, it comes down to how much money do you want to spend to make your point. And who are you going after? Is it somebody that has millions of dollars or somebody that has, a band that is has nothing?
Right. Yep. So I'm checking out your Speed shirt. I used to have one of those when I did work for Speed Channel.
Yeah, that's how I got it.
Yeah, that was a good channel, man.
You know, Speed back in the day. I have a hat too somewhere. Speed. I have a license plate. That's what it was. The license plate for the car. Back in the day, that was the stuff, man. There was nothing else around like it. It was the just talking about innovative, right?
Yeah, corporate, man, they just come in and mess everything up.
Oh man, I tell you, yeah.
They really took care of me, man. When I'd go do stuff for them, they'd put me up in hotels, man, like $700 a night hotels, like big dog stuff.
You were transporting cars, I guess, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, we did an episode of a TV show that was on Speed, and there was no hotels or nothing. But I tell you, just on set with the crew that they used, and they were all young people too, so they were great to work with because they understood, like they weren't stuffy, and you could talk to them, and they had great food. They were easy to work with. I remember Chris, my partner, and I at the time we did the show, and we said, listen, we're not script guys. I can't memorize lines. We work off the cuff. We ad lib everything. So the director said, okay, I can work with that. He says, so what I'm going to do is before each take, I'm just going to tell each of you what I want in like a small block. So it will be like, okay, I want you to talk about this car and mention a couple facts about it. You come in, and he would just give us like maybe a couple sentences worth of not dialogue. He would just say, this is what I want you to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
You think you can do it? Yeah, we're ready. Go. And he would just go, we go live and we would do it. He might make a small edit here and there, but he let us do it in our own voices, which was
that's great.
The only way we can work because we're not professional actors. And it came off very, very well. And the process was just phenomenal. So yeah, nothing but good to say about those guys.
Yeah, they're professional, or used to be.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who's the master of that is Lou and Jarrett.
Oh yeah.
Listen, we would go to we'd do something for a company and like a product endorsement, and both of them. Jarrett wasn't as good as Lou, but Lou would look at a product, like he'd look at this cup here that says Plan and Traffic on it that's in my store.
Yep.
But he would look at this cup and he'd ask a couple questions and he'd go, okay, start the camera. And he had spit it out like he made the cup.
I saw that many times on TV about Lou, and I said, damn, that I always smiled. I said, man, that guy is a master. He really is that good at doing that.
And Jared's pretty good. Jared had to take maybe 1 or 2 takes, but once it clicked, man, he'd do the same thing.
Right.
Start off like you'd think that they work for the company.
Yeah. I know. Lou especially had that talent, and I was always in awe of that. I said, man, that's a gift.
Yep.
I got to show you something. Let me. Now you mentioned Jarrett. My friend, Kilowatt Kevin, has a son. Let me see if I can find it here in my phone. I'm going to show you a picture of. Be like, okay.
Wow, does look like him.
Now.
That's funny.
This is Jared. I wish I could put them side by side. I was like, man, I said, you look just like him, man. If I told Lou at one point, I said, boy, if Jared ever needs a double, I got the guy. I got the guy. So,
I was talking to Jared at SEMA for a few minutes.
Right.
He's still moving, man. He still works for the channel.
Good.
He does interviews and stuff behind the scenes for Motor. Is it Motor Trend?
Yeah, Motor. He was good in front of the camera too. He was informative. You could learn from him. He was. It was like with any duo. And like, on the show with us, and when the other guys come in, I work with them, and when I do my radio show with Chris, there's always a symmetry, and if it's not there, it ain't working, and if it's there, it clicks, and you don't have to work at it. So, and I'm always very, very tuned into that. So I always noticed Lou, of course, was the perennial front man. I mean, he doesn't even need to have something to say. You just give him a microphone, he'll say something. With Jared, was more like our own mind. He was more of a technical entity where he would show you how to do a procedure. Not that Luke couldn't, because he could and he did very well, but they each had their place, and that's what made it work because they weren't doing the same thing at the same time.
Mhm.
You
Yep.
got to have dichotomy. You got to have a yin and yang.
Yep, that's true.
It's so hard. The like I guess with production companies and even in music and bands and in all venues, people try to force that. They try and put people together who they think would be good, and they very well could be good together. But unless if they don't click and make it good, it ain't gonna
Right.
be good. You know.
Right. Let's get the fellas in and see what they're talking about.
Bring them in. Hello, boys.
Hey.
Jimmy, Brian, what happened? Your camera fell under the desk. Paul, hey, there you are, Joey. Justin.
What's up, fellas?
Hey,
How's everybody tonight?
Night.
we're doing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I got
So-
one thing to say about my experiences with the production companies and everything. Everyone I worked with, yes, you're right. There has to be that magical flow, click, and everyone I worked with, there was always that flow and click and everything. But I was always constantly being corrected on the way I talk.
Yeah.
They were always and I had some advisement from another guy that was on the Next Food Network Star. He ran right up to the end with the Next Food Network Star, and he said to me, Paul, don't let them change you. They're going to try and change you. And when every time somebody corrected me, it was just in the way he talked or responded back to a question, how do you feel? Well, I feel this way type scenario when respond back, and that's just the way it is not necessarily the way I talked. So that whole they're going to try and change you, it kind of did, but no, I'm still me.
Paul, I can tell you something that I learned about that same thing. I've done a lot of writing in my career, and a lot of it was published and whatnot, but some of it had to be paraphrased from other sources or whatever. And a lot of times, even on the radio, I'd have to do a rip and read, what they call. So you take an article out of a magazine or a newspaper, that's the rip, and then you have to read it. And I realized, man, I can't do this. So I take the time, whatever article I get, and I read it. And when I write it out on a piece of paper, but the way I would say it, not the way the guy who wrote it said it, because that's not how I talk. And I found now it'll come off natural. I'm not that I'm trying to pawn it off as my work. I'm not. I'm still reporting on a topic somebody else wrote about, but I'm paraphrasing it using my language. And
yeah, it's just the way I think and process things, and there's a formal, correct way to say things, and I'm not always there.
Right. Well, it makes me think of one thing in particular. It's like my daughter has been on this kick now with girl math, and I tell my wife, I said, yeah, it's like wife logic. I said it's like trying to get a point. Whenever I try to get a point across to her, it's like I'm on A and she's on Z. Like, they said, well, whoever wrote, like, what was it, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Neptune? They were so right. It's like, why can't we ever just see something the same way? Why does it have to be a half-hour discussion turned argument to just understand what we're trying to do? I don't know. I mean, well, you can talk to one of your guy friends, like, oh yeah, I got it. I know what you mean. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, good. You don't have to say anything else. Like, okay.
Yep. That's how it goes. They try to change the way I talk too, but I think that's just because I talk with my hands and they're afraid I'm going to hit somebody.
Well, just tell them you're from New York, Justin. You got a little bit of New York in you. I'll be all right.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're Italian.
At least, if nothing else, people stay a certain distance from you because there's stuff
Right,
to watch,
yeah. I was just trying to get my point across.
Right. Right. See, Joey's got a problem. He's got to do that and pivot at the same time to keep people at keep a good 180. But he can do it. He can do it.
Dude, I've hit so many people with my right, they beg for my left.
Yeah, there you go.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
Great.
Yeah. I would like to take a quick second and thank my crew from Mill Creek Fab Shop for hanging out in the chat with us.
Yes, welcome.
So,
I'm glad you got here.
yeah, I've been streaming this over there whenever you're live, and
Oh,
it
appreciate
brings
it.
in the crowd. Yeah, it brings in the crowd. And so, yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate
Heck yeah, man.
everybody in the chat. Hello, and you're welcome anytime.
Well, have them go to Plane and Traffic YouTube channel. While they're there, have them go to Motormouth Videos, because we could use the watches and the likes and the
Yeah.
could use a little bit of a boost with the numbers, you know.
Yeah, I got to find you, Ray, so I can start throwing you out there from my channel. But yeah, most of them from my channel are subscribed now to Plane and Traffic.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
yeah.
Please share with everybody. We have a lot of fun on Plan and Traffic, and throughout the year we'll have a lot of different guests, a lot of different companies come on and share their products. So yeah, please share it with all your friends.
And not only that, but it's become a bit of a crossover, because what I talk about here, I'll talk about on Sunday, referencing back. A lot of stuff goes back and forth with me,
Right.
because it's topical, and it's it's worth repeating to another audience. So there's a lot of crossover, and even with the guests, we have a lot of guest sharing. So
Yeah.
And if you're the type that don't have any friends, you will gain friends here.
whether you like it or not,
Yes.
May not be good friends, but
whether you want them or not, all right?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
They'll come eat up all your
Arco,
food.
yeah.
Like Arco,
I'll
for
take you up on
example,
that.
I mean, he forced himself on me, so I kind of had to just hang with him.
Well, he's from Compton, so when a dude from Compton starts forcing himself on you, you got to be wiggly to get out from under him.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Oh, and feel free to stop by our store and pick up your
I
candy.
do that. Yes, I got to get myself a mug. That's exactly right. Yes. Did
My
you
mom
square away? Louis, you were going to square away some stuff with the merch. Did you do that? I forget what it was. You said you were going to do a couple of weeks ago.
I forget. What was I going
You
to
said
do?
you had to square something away. You said, "Don't go yet. I got to square this away." I forget what it was now,
Me too.
but that's why I waited to hear if you squared it away.
Yeah.
What was it? See,
I don't know.
I got so many things popping through my head. Who knows what I was talking about?
I know.
Yeah. Hey,
That's how it goes.
Ray, what is the name of your channel, Ray?
Motormouth Video on YouTube. There was a Motormouth. There is a Motormouth Radio YouTube channel too, but that was what we used originally, and that kind of it's up there. But I update Motormouth Video every week, because I record the radio show on a Zoom call. I upload it to YouTube, so people can now watch like this. They could watch the radio show.
Yeah. Is that
Strike
Motormouth? Is that one word or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find you and share you into my chat on my channel.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that Chris and I had argued long and hard about. I said, who wants to watch a radio show? But he did some stuff back in college radio where they were doing like garbage giveaways, where they just bring stuff in from they're all college students at the time, right? So they would bring just stuff in from their car. Like, we got a garbage giveaway at 3:00. Call in, be the fifth caller. You can get a box of garbage, and you get like a sandal and a frisbee and maybe a McDonald's wrap. I don't know what the hell they had in their cars. Crap, But it went over. It was huge. It went over huge. And he said, "Man, if we could have been on video, it would have been even better." I'm like, yeah, I don't know. So anyway,
So yeah, I'm getting this right. Motormouth Video, right, or radio?
It's all one word.
it is all one word. Yes.
That's
I think I found you every Sunday from noon to 1.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Fine.
And that's Eastern
every
time.
Sunday.
Eastern time. Yes. Eastern.
Yeah.
EST.
Funny.
Every Sunday.
What time?
12 noon to 1 p.m.
Motormouth
Sure.
Radio on iHeartRadio, right?
We're on iHeart. We're on Spreaker. Yeah.
Okay.
I think you're on Spotify.
We do have a Spotify channel. I got to update that because people were commenting on the music I played, and a lot of people actually liked it. I'm putting golden old nuggets out of the past. So we opened the Spotify channel. Actually, a guy we had doing the web was doing that, updating it, and he kind of stopped. That's why the website went dormant, because he stopped that too. We got to pick it back up again. But I should go back, and I still keep records of everything that I play, so I can go back and update it.
So on iHeartRadio, can I find last week's episode?
Yeah. Now,
Just listen
there's
for the
another way
Zappa.
of doing it. You could go through the radio station too. You can go through WHPC. If you search for WHPC on iHeart, there's only certain shows that are podcast, and mine is one of them because it's a talk show, and there's a link through there as well.
Okay.
So there's a number of ways of finding it. I always ask people, how'd you find it? Because I don't know. I don't need to find it, so I don't ever have to do that. But I'm always curious. So
It was a good show.
yeah, well, we try. Some shows are better than others. It's just like this. I think about a week ago, I was saying, man, the Thursday show, actually, when we had Carl Anthony on, I thought the Thursday show we had Carl on was phenomenal. It moved. It had pace. It didn't lag. We had topicality. We had conversation. And then then Carl wasn't in. He was coming in to do the show with me. He didn't make it the next week. He made it the following week. And I said that. I said, listen, the Thursday night show, I said, we got to live up to that, because that was a phenomenal show. And you know what? We did it again in an hour. He gave us another great show. Again, it was just the right topic, I guess. It was just the right combination.
I feel that Sunday was an extremely good show. It flowed, and I think Sunday was incredible.
This past Sunday, okay, let me remember now. What did we do Sunday? We didn't have a guest on.
No, you didn't.
We didn't. So it was just stream of consciousness. It was really just whatever let me see. Let me look at my book. Go ahead.
No, Lewis.
Oh, you're talking about playing
Traffic.
traffic.
Stacy, yeah, I would agree that was probably better than what I did.
That was good. I wish I could have stuck around.
I enjoyed that thoroughly.
Like I said, we had a dinner, so I couldn't even come around.
So you said somebody's car broke down?
Yeah, my brother was over at our friend's house, and the slave cylinder went out on his truck at 10 o'clock at night. So
Yeah.
All right.
hit
Tell
the road
them
and
to
went.
check the insurance and throw a match in it.
Ah,
I didn't even have to give him that idea. He was ready. He was ready.
Yeah.
Nah, we got her fixed though.
It's always something there.
Always. I told him after that, like, none of our cars are going on flatbeds anymore. Not for a while. We've had 2 in 3 weeks, or sorry, 2 in like 3 days.
Ooh.
Between my wife's car and that one.
what happened to your wife's car?
Hit a patch of ice and she ran into somebody, so totaled the car.
Oh, right. You did say that, yeah.
Yeah. So that was our last Thursday.
Is everybody okay though?
Yeah, everybody's okay. Wife's okay. Our daughter was with her. She's okay.
Good.
But yeah,
sheet metal can be replaced.
Oh yeah. Yep.
A little duct tape.
Right.
Oh, yeah. That's the way we used to do it back in the day, man.
Oh yeah.
Hey, and they got multiple colors now.
Yeah.
Right. Matching duct tape.
Speaking
Yeah.
of total,
Yeah.
I'm going through something right now. My wife just said to me, hey, you know what? We got the bills. Car insurance went up. House insurance went up. Everything's going up. It always does. I'm like, damn, we don't even do anything. No tickets, no accidents, and insurance going up. So I started looking around, and they want to charge me like $970 a year for my FJ. So I said, I wonder what I could do on Hagerty. It ends up I can get full boat coverage through Hagerty with for that truck for $283 a year. I said,
Wow.
we'll switch it.
Yeah.
Throw it.
Yeah.
No brainer there.
Oh, ridiculous.
Yeah. So it pays to shop around at least once a year.
And
Yeah,
we
that's
do. We
the
have
one- Go ahead.
we have an agent who she's very on top of that, and she'll give us little tips or tricks of what we can do. And she says, listen, it's nothing you did. It's just across the board. I talked to my buddy at the shop today. I mentioned it because I had a question to ask him about collision. And he said, no, mine went up too. He says the same thing. He goes, we didn't do anything. It just went up. So Yeah, pain in the ass.
Yeah. Lewis, that Haggerty is the one I was telling you about that might help you out on your bus. Remember we were
Yeah,
talking?
I'm gonna give him a call in a week or so.
What year is your bus, Lewis?
03.
Okay, I found out today when I asked the guy. I luckily got a younger guy, whose father has an FJ, because I said I want to get a quote, and I actually did it first on their online quote thing, and they came back with 970. I was like, nah, something's wrong. So I called, and he said, "What year is it?" And I said, "It's an '08." He goes, "Oh." He goes, "Well, generally we don't. Our general rule is we don't insure trucks or SUVs post '98. We like to be 1998 and earlier." I was like, "Well, I'll tell you something. This thing is, I don't want to use the word collectible." I said, "But every time I take it out, people want to buy it." I said, "I know it's been increasing in value. They have a niche market." And that's what he told me. He goes, "Yeah, my dad has one, and people are always asking about it." I said, "There you go." I said, "It's definitely, an up and comer." So because of that, he goes, "Let me see what I can do." And I don't know if one of the breaks he talked to somebody or whatever, but they did agree to cover the truck. So you may have to plead the case for the bus.
Yeah.
Actually, tell you the truth, I wonder if they'll do that, because you're going to be driving it a lot and like living in it.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. Well, you have to call them and say,
Yeah,
that's all
I
you
got a
can
couple
do.
companies, but some of them they want more of it done. So I'll have it done in maybe a month or so.
Well, they do have a thing when they were doing the price quote, you could get a quote on a vehicle that was in progress. So if you were building a car or something that was collectible, they'll take that into consideration. Because when I've had my Pontiac with them forever, but when I took it all apart and started restoring it, now the car's all apart. But I wanted to increase the insurance because now I'm putting new parts in it. And they did that. They said, "Yeah, okay, we just let us know your progress, let us know how you're going, and then you can keep increasing it until you hit the whatever the agreed limit is." So
Yeah.
they're good that way.
Speaking of vehicles that are taken apart right now, and to keep with the theme of tonight's show about winter projects, that truck, Lewis, man, that thing's like buying a great age steak at that price. It's just beautiful. Yeah, it's a beautiful truck. I don't even think you would need to paint it unless you just wanted to.
Really? Now let me ask you this: you said the cab is off. Is the still on, or is everything off?
Well, the bed and cab is unbolted and not on the frame. However, he's got all the body bolts, everything. So before it would even go on the trailer, he's got a lift that he hooks to his forks on his tractor.
Mm-hmm.
He can set that cab and bed back on there and just line the bolts up, bolt it down, and then the fenders and hood. I mean, probably dig some hardware out and bolt those on real quick, and everything else can be pushed inside the interior in the bed of the truck as far as boxes and stuff. Literally, it was taken apart to be redone into a hot rod. That's where it started. Somebody started that project in Florida, and then the guy in Michigan bought the truck in the condition it's in right now. And he brought it back with just the cab and bed and everything sitting on the frame and all strapped down. But when he took it off of the trailer, he unloaded it, piece by piece.
Okay.
But he's got everything there minus the motor and training. But the sheet metal on this truck is in such beautiful shape for the year. I mean, there's no rust through anywhere on this truck at all. It's a 96 Silverado short wheelbase regular cab.
Wow.
And beautiful condition. It just needs some love and a fresh engine, transmission, and you can probably have that thing put back together in probably one summer, unless you're planning on doing the paint. But yeah.
Well, I'm trying to weigh out my time. I was talking to the wife about it. But I know a guy that lives up north of me. He might want to put it together for me, and
Yeah. Well, like I said, if you get the trailer, you cover the gas and a couple hamburgers, I'll go get it for you.
A couple of hamburgers. Is that all?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a trailer that I would trust that far, which is only like a 4-hour trip there, but
No.
still, you don't want to get 2.5 hours away from home and tires start falling off and blowing out. So,
Right. Now you said it's in Warren, Michigan.
yes. Yep. Yeah.
How far is
Yeah,
that?
I was there early last year picking up some buckets for an excavator, and that's when I saw the truck. I walked all around it and was just looking. I was like, man, this thing's in nice shape. And then he told me, if it's for sale, $1,500. I'm like, what? I mean, it's all original sheet metal, so it's not repop stuff.
Right.
And there's no rust on it. It's just beautiful.
Justin, how far is that from you?
That's only a couple hours from me. You got me thinking.
Uh-oh.
I'm not going to give you
That
the
is
address.
that is not far.
I'm not giving you the address to pull it out from under Lewis.
No, I don't need it.
He's getting first dibs. If he don't
Wait.
get it, I'm getting it.
Justin might be coming over here to visit.
Oh. Well,
Make something work.
let me know. I told him I would try to let him know something by the weekend.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll have
but-
an answer for you probably Sunday.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not like he's advertising it. Otherwise, it would have already been gone. Somebody would have bought it.
Right. Yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Trying to figure out some angles here. My time is the problem.
Yeah.
Putting
But
the
yeah,
truck back.
that truck was spared from all the salt that the Michigan, Ohio, everybody uses because it started its life in Florida. That's where it was at until a couple of years ago when he got it. And then it's never been on the roads in Michigan since he got it. So,
Good thing.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
sure. Okay, yeah, I'll get you some info by the weekend.
All right. Yeah, that'll work.
Plus, I gotta find a place to put it.
Well, I mean,
I don't think my city gonna go for a truck half apart in the yard.
you got Tyler, you got me, you got Justin.
You can ship it
Terry,
to the place. You know, I got some extra room. You can store it here.
yeah,
Yeah, ship it to Paul. He could go ahead and throw a LS engine in it for you.
yeah, you got the LSs
And-
down there.
Yeah.
We got a 5-speed that will bolt behind an LS in one of them trucks.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
Send me the truck. Send me the 5-speed, and even better yet, send me the truck. I'll set everything up except for the 5-speed. Send it to you, and you can finish it.
Yeah.
That's easy too.
And then
Yeah, you
send
get
it
the whole
to
kit.
me. When it's done, send it to me and I will make sure it gets driven.
Boy, you guys are spending a lot of money out of my pocket real quick.
I'm really good at
It's
that.
always fun. Yeah, it's fun spending other people's money.
Oh man,
Yeah, send it.
I do that every day. That's great.
I got you. I got you on this. Remember, they can't spend your money till I release the truck to them.
Mm.
Right. Sounds like a plan.
So,
You guys are my peoples.
yeah, we'll help you out.
We got you.
I'm not going to spend my money, but I'll help you out. So,
Oh yeah.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, coach.
Hey, coach.
Hey, how's it
hey,
going?
coach. But
How
yeah, I
y'all
think doing good, coach. You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing good. We actually got on Tuesday we got a win.
Oh, great.
Soccer.
Good
job.
Boys worked their butts off and they did really good. It was exciting. First win of the school year. Football we couldn't get a win. Girls soccer, the girls had attitude and didn't want to do anything. And the a couple of the girls that were on the girls team are managing for me. And the first couple games, we scored some points, and I'm over there jumping up and down, cheering and smiling. They're like, "Look, coach does smile."
Yeah, all you gotta do is win.
Yeah. If they
It's
give
not
you a
that you're
reason to
happy, but you're
smile,
focused.
yeah.
Yeah.
If they give you a good reason to smile, you'll smile, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Hey, even in a loss, I'll cheer and smile when they're working their butts off and they're doing what they need to do. You know, you win
Yeah.
some, you lose some. Of course, you want to win everything, but you know, nobody wants to lose. But when you lose and your guys are working hard and doing what they're supposed to do, and it just the other team's either just better or it goes down to the wire, you can walk away knowing it was a good loss.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Good attitude.
Yep.
So, Coach, I was just looking at my solar panels out your way,
Mm-hmm.
and I might pull the trigger real quick. Not real quick,
Okay.
but the next couple of days. How far did you say you were from that place?
I need the address again, but I'm about 100 miles away.
That's kind of far.
As far as setting it up for me to pick up, I just need to know if they're open on the weekend, because that would be my availability. And then I just gotta set up getting down there. I mean, I've got my trailer up and going, so
They're real small, or not real small, but they're light. But
yeah,
if I buy from the company, they ship it on a pallet. So if I don't
Yeah.
fill up the pallet, I still got to pay the same price for the pallet, and I can't afford to fill the pallet up. So that kind of, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'll let you know in a couple of days.
yeah. Just text me, give me the address, and then the big thing is just find out if they're open on a Saturday, and
Right.
I'll have to communicate with my son because I've got his Blazer set up to haul my trailer.
Okay.
So
All right. Yeah, I'll let you know for sure. Because I just ordered all the equipment for the solar, like all the equipment inside.
yeah,
But the panels, man, you can't beat the price out there by you. The prices are just. I can buy panels cheaper than I can buy one panel from these other companies.
I always
Yeah.
wondered about that. Why do you think that is? Are they manufactured there so you can buy them direct?
No, what they're doing is they're like when you see those solar farms where there's thousands of solar panels.
Yeah.
Well, if one starts to lose power, it knocks down like a whole row of solar panels. So they take those out. They're still good. They're just not producing as much as they're supposed to,
Yeah.
or they're not keeping up with the other ones. So they sell them. They're all used, but they're not hurt. So, and they sell them cheap, but you got about a whole pallet full.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see, I'm looking up the address now.
So what's the watts per square inch output on something like that?
I don't know about a square foot. Let me see if it says it.
How many of them are putting on the roof of the bus? Your bus. I don't see you putting more than 5 or 6 there.
Oh no, I can get 8 to 10.
Okay.
Yep.
10. How many panels go on a pallet?
You can get, I think, 30. So if I can find somebody around here that wants to split it with me, then that'd be worth it. But so 450 watts. One panel.
450 each.
Yeah, the one that I'm getting is 450.
Dang, son, you'd be able to power up the White House with 8 or 10 panels.
Yeah, I'm not buying that many. I'm going to get about 3,000 watts. Will be good.
Yeah.
Let's see, address. Maybe if I go to the right site, huh? Don't mind me. I'm just looking up the address.
It's okay. We'll talk among ourselves. Yeah. There was something I was going to ask Ray, but it's slipped my mind completely. I've been catnapping. Yeah, I've been catnapping all day because I didn't get any sleep last night. So I'm surprised I even got on here.
Well, I did something fun. I went to a garage party on Friday night and didn't get home till 3 a.m. Hadn't done that in a
Man,
while.
you're out wilding.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a wild man.
I tell
Party
you,
animal.
that's the time to drive on the parkways in New York.
I want to know who's listening
Yeah.
to the garage party.
What's that, Paul?
Why were we all invited to this garage party?
Well,
You have to be special. It's called the
yeah,
reason.
yeah.
Yeah, I think you got to be a member.
It's kind of a closed place. It's yeah, like I don't even bring a guest. I just go alone. I don't even bring anybody.
Yeah.
It's kind of a closed group. Not to say,
I was only there once, and it was a long time ago.
and it's changed a lot since then. The whole thing refigured and changed. You know, they left a lot of space. It's only a fraction of what it used to be, but it's down to those core groups.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was huge back then.
Yes, absolutely, it
Is
was.
this the one you were telling me about? It's like a parking area type thing.
It's a parking garage that's actually was built to service a apartment complex.
Gotcha.
And from years ago, the owner just decided to rent out the spots to home runs. And there's multi-door access, key access. I mean, it's safe as can be. And then through the years, a few years ago, the building got sold, and the new owner just jacked the rent like crazy, with hopes of flushing out. And they did flush out at least half the people, maybe more. So now it kind of came down to a much smaller group.
All right.
A core group, but
Yeah, the part you don't understand is that this is actually an outer borough of New York City. In New York City, parking is a blood sport. You really got to be careful where you park and what you park. And if you, God forbid, encroach on somebody else's parking spot, look out.
you know, it's funny because we talk about this here. We talked about it with Carl. I talked about it on my show. I got there, and this is in Queens. It's not in the city. It's Queens. And I got there 7 o'clock on Friday night. So everybody's home from work. You look down the roads, I mean, you can see maybe like a half mile, and all you see is cars on the right, cars on the left. Every cross street is just cars packed on both sides. And I keep thinking, yeah, what if these are all EVs? How are they charging them? There's no way.
Hey, we got an easy quote today. Look at that.
These people that are pushing it, the politicians never visited, and that's not even the city. It's Queens. It's a borough. But when everybody's home, man, you couldn't put a moped between these cars.
Nope.
You know, it's ridiculous. But they
Why
think
I moved
that.
to Suffolk County.
What's that, Jim?
That's why I moved to Suffolk County.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I lived in Queens for a while too.
Queens, and I'm like, wow, you live like this? Dang.
I mean, I lived in Queens, but I had a house, I had a driveway, I had a garage, so I was, I could park off the street. I didn't have to, and it wasn't as bad as there. It was, it was more, a little bit more spread out. But yeah, that's exactly why it's.
Yeah, I didn't have the house, the driveway, the garage. Even the few times that there was a garage that went with the apartment, they're like, no, you can't have that.
Right.
Like, so I got basically the world's biggest garage next to my house. I can't afford to put anything in it.
So
Hey,
I
Lewis.
Yes.
don't have
Keith
a
Gill is in the backstage there, he said.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, there you go. Oh, there's Tyler too. You guys snuck in on me.
There it
Hey
is.
guys,
There
what's
it
going
is.
on?
So, Keith.
Not much.
Hey, Tyler,
How's it going?
15 minutes.
full house tonight.
Hey. You know what? I'm on my little screen. I don't have my double screen, so I can't
How's it
see
going, guys?
everybody. Good. Your house is looking good, bro.
see everybody either.
Don't everybody talk at once.
Said your house is looking good.
Yeah, your house is looking good, Tyler. You're gonna miss the
I'll probably
pimp,
do a talent
pimp place.
I don't think
Yeah,
you'll be
not too bad. Hold on. I might be having poor internet connection.
Might be.
Get the aluminum foil out.
There you go.
That
Brian,
was
you
the good old
sporting a
days
haircut
when you
this
supposed
week?
to.
Huh?
You sporting a haircut this week? You just got your glasses put back.
No. I locked the bathroom door and turned the razor on. So
All right.
Yep, shaved and got a haircut.
Wow. Getting ready for Expo, huh?
I'm trying. That's another whole mess right there. But
Where is it this
Yeah.
year?
Florida.
Okay.
Down
Oh, it's there
in
every year. Huh?
Orlando. Huh?
It's there every year, right?
No.
No?
No, it rotates. Right now, the main rotation is Texas, Orlando, and then Vegas. And sometimes they throw in. We've gone. I like for us to go back to New Orleans, but it wasn't big enough for us. We had 4 different hotels, and we had the convention center was in a different spot. You know, the thing was in a different spot, and it was you spent a lot. You want to talk about getting your steps in? You did a lot of walking.
Well,
So-
they probably don't want you back because you couldn't say it right.
What?
Orleans.
New Orleans?
New Orleans.
Yeah, well, they probably want us
Orleans.
back because we wiped out a few bars. They were all quite surprised on how much we drink. When you walk into a place and they say, "Sorry, we don't have a beer delivery until tomorrow, and we don't have any more alcohol,"
Oh,
that's pretty tough.
Mm.
Yikes.
So, and by the time they order, they think we're staying for 2 weeks, and then we all leave, and they got all this excess beer. So.
You screwed them.
Yeah, we screw them up for sure. But yeah, we've gone. New Orleans was really nice, and I love to go back to San Diego. San Diego was awesome, but that was too small too.
You guys ever go to Phoenix?
We haven't been to Phoenix yet. I'm surprised. That's been one of the things that's floated around. It's floated around a couple of times. That place, Phoenix. We've been to Cancun. Cancun was awesome, but they'll never go overseas again. Whatever, because the last time we went, the Mexican government held everything hostage.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was a nightmare.
Jeez.
It's probably for conventions like that. It's probably best to stay inside the U.S.
Yeah. We had gone to the year before I started was Acapulco. That was good. Hawaii was awesome, but Hawaii was super small. Everything got damaged when it got shipped over there on the boat.
oh.
So everything went on a boat and was destroyed from being on the boat. And I think they had to do it like, I don't know, something crazy like 8 months out ahead. They had to start sending stuff out because you know how long it takes to go to California and then get on a boat and go out to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I just finally unpacked my PRI lanyard.
Nice.
That's in time.
So now I got to go through and my stack of good contacts. I got to touch base with them.
When is that PRI?
that was already.
First weekend in December.
Oh, that's right. My friend Jason was there.
It's a great time.
Yeah, I got to meet
Well,
Justin
Yeah, finally. We made it
and
happen.
all of his coworkers. They make way more fun of him than we ever could.
Oh,
Really?
yeah. That's
We don't make fun of Justin. We love
That-
Justin.
that's all we do at the shop, so that's normal.
I would
Example,
say
please.
that's. I was gonna say that's with every group. There's always somebody who's picked on worse than the next one.
What,
Oh yeah, we had
what-
one guy, one of our new guys. We initiated him at PRI. It's pretty bad. He didn't make it off of the van the next day. He slept in the van while we went and toward the rest of the show.
What did you do to him to make him stay in the van?
It's not all our fault. I mean,
He was tired.
Nobody told
well,
me
it wasn't tired.
That bar you guys were holed up in, that was like a sauna in there.
Yeah,
It was hotter than the blazes.
But Tyler, coming where they work, where with the temperatures that they work in, that was probably like they were like happy.
I mean, it's
Maybe.
not bad.
I mean, they looked pretty happy.
Yeah,
We I don't know, we'd been there for like 4 hours or so by that time.
Yeah.
We were there quite a while.
So Justin, I forgot to ask you, what'd you think of those trailers, those car haulers?
I liked them. We all went over and checked out some trailers. It's actually kind of funny. Like about 2 weeks later, our boss went and bought us a new trailer.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
One of those? One of the hot ones?
No, it was a local place. They had a 28-foot, I think, Legend. Had the nice flip up side door, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the driver escape door.
Oh man, that's gonna be great. It's actually over next door to us is a sign shop. They're doing our wrap and stuff today and tomorrow. And we got a show. We got a show next weekend.
So I got. We mentioned the side door in the trailer. I got to tell you a story.
I'm gonna go a night, fellas, and got to get a good
Okay,
start.
Paul. Appreciate you.
See you, Paul.
See you, Paul.
Take
Have
care.
a good week.
Take care, Paul.
Yeah. Good night, Paul.
So my son is young. He's probably 10 years old. So we go to Philadelphia to pick up Bernard Hawkins, the boxer Bernard Hawkins. We go to pick up his truck, right? So I pull it in the trailer, and the truck's so big I can't open the doors. So I'm hollering out to my son, "Open the hatch!" And he's like, "What?" We're in the middle of downtown, and I was like, "Open the hatch!" I was like, "It's hot. Open the hatch." So I'm in there sweating, man. I thought I was gonna pass out.
Yeah, that thing's gonna be so nice. Like I said, we have a *94 Sierra that we built. That's one we had in the old trailer. Didn't have that, and the truck sits really low. Man, you're like climbing through the windows to get in this thing. It's a total disaster.
Oh yeah.
That truck's so wide.
Yeah.
The flip out sides. They make them soft side now too. Pretty nice. You get zip,
Yeah, cool.
zip the whole side.
That would be nice, except for the whole security aspect.
Yeah. Yep.
So I got a 2008 truck that's been 5.7 swapped and has a turbo on it. It got towed here, and it's always a good sign when the owner is there and he goes to hop in it and back it off the tow truck, and he says, "Oh, it's not running now. It wasn't doing that earlier." So Terry and I would have been on sooner, except he had to come up to the corner and tow me back with my truck during the test drive. That didn't go so well.
Yeah, that's like
It went well for a quarter mile.
that's like they say. Yeah, ran when parked. Right.
Yeah.
And that guy probably would have swore that you did something.
Right.
Yeah, one of those.
What up, Terry?
That's what I heard, Terry.
Yo, what's up,
Terry.
everyone?
What's going, man?
It's the Rust
What's
King.
happening? Yeah, what is that car above you?
Muhammad
This is
Ali.
Tyler's Roadrunner.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, that was overly excited.
Yeah. Oh,
There you go.
yeah.
Golly.
We're more excited than either of you guys.
That's my legacy project.
I thought you had an AAR CUDA there.
No, not
That's
yet.
what I was
Almost.
Oh,
I think the Arcud is better. Let me stop.
Is it a plum crazy? What color is it?
Yeah, this is Tyler. You talk to him.
Yeah, it's not plum crazy. It's some kind of custom color, but it's close to plum crazy. It's got a little bit of metallic flake in it.
Yeah. What year is the car, Tyler?
That one's a 72. Yeah, 72.
Oh, that's why you're not excited.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's one of those projects. It's a customer's car, and it's been here quite a while because it was it ended up, I probably bit off more than I could chew to begin with, but now I'm like deeply committed. So I've just been struggling through it and everything, and he's been real kind about it, but it's been here long enough I can almost send it to kindergarten. So
Wow.
Wow.
yeah,
So what part did you bite off too much?
Yeah, time to get it out of here. I've learned since then. Similar vehicles have come in, and I've been like, nope, no way.
So what's too big of the bite? Is it just the body work? I mean, is it just the whole job? I mean, what are you doing?
I thought it was gonna be get the car running, and it turned into a whole motor rebuild, which turned into a cracked block, sourcing another motor, all new brake lines, all new fuel lines. Fuel tank was rotted out. We didn't know that when it got here. It started after being here for about 4 or 5 months. It started dripping on my floor. Whatever toxic ooze was left in the gas tank ate its way out, and I cleaned my floor with race gas, and it doesn't bother the coating at all. And whatever was in that gas tank peeled my coating up like it was wallpaper.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been one bad turn after another, and then the customer was a little wishy-washy at certain turns of events. So like when we pulled the motor apart and we had the block bead blasted and we found the crack in the block, he said, well, maybe we'll just get a modern drivetrain and start down the resto mod path, put a like a 6.4 Hemi in it, with a modern transmission and all that stuff. So we kind of waffled back and forth for about 6 months, me doing some research, finding some parts and stuff, and then him kind of deciding if he wanted to commit that kind of cash to the project. And it's just been a lot of circles being run on both sides. So
yeah,
I'm ready for it to be out of here so I can get my lift space back. And at this point he just wants to be able to drive it and enjoy it. So that's what we're doing. We're just going to try to make it a reliable driver, and that's it.
It looks like you just put a drive shaft in some exhaust and send it out.
Yeah, duct tape
Yeah,
and angle iron. And
right. Fuel tank, fuel lines, brake lines, all the brake hardware, all the bushings. Ball joints are all shot,
Tyler, let's face it, to make this car drivable so he can enjoy it. I mean, he didn't even change the shocks. These are some old ass shocks that have been there since like probably the 80s. To make this car drivable for him to enjoy it, you got to get rid of this whole suspension.
Yeah, pretty much.
Literally. I mean, like I said, the shocks. This car needs help.
Give it one.
Yeah.
He's starting to sound like Mark.
And if he wants to do it, like you said, Tyler, if he wants to do it the right way would be to get rid of all this, because if you're going to replace these leaf springs and everything like that, you're better off just getting a kit and just converting it. One, you're not going to be fighting the rust, and this.
Sounds like an episode of Phantom Works.
Terry,
I mean, even if he gets this car back to original, you're not going to enjoy
right,
it.
Jim.
It's not going to be a fun car. It's going to have the lean, especially if he's coming from like a new car, like a updated BMW. What's his everyday car?
Doesn't matter.
Porsche Cayman.
Oh,
what?
Okay.
A Porsche Cayman? He's going to jump in this thing?
Yeah.
I could like it.
You're talking now exactly the way I started talking after I started working at the shop. And when you start really seeing the nuts and bolts and the ugly side of cars, and what it takes to make that thing right. And you got a guy saying, "Oh yeah, I just want to do this, this, and this, and get it on the road." And no, that's not right. It's almost like you're on a plane, another world. Like, you're not talking the same language as customers. And Tyler, I'm sure you see this all the time too.
Oh yeah,
frustrating.
Some people get it, and some people just don't.
You might end up in a lawsuit by doing A, B, and C too, because to get it out on the road and the car rips in half and they die.
Yeah,
there you go.
Oh yeah, well obviously it won't leave if it's not safe.
Right.
No, but he's going to drive this thing like he thinks he could drive his Cayman.
It's going to fall over.
No, it's not going to have enough power to drive any kind of way.
Yeah, it's like I got a buddy who
What motor is
I think I might have mentioned him one time before. he went out. He's not a car guy. He's not, but he likes cars. He's not not much of a renter. He went out when he graduated college. He went out and bought a brand new Grand National, black Grand National. This is probably 8.
That's the only way they can.
What year was the freak? The 87s were the freaks. I think 87 were the freak cars.
Yeah.
He got an 87 one. He's got a freak car, and he drove it up until like he got his job and everything like that. Then he got the Grand National right out of college, and the car sat since I would say probably 96, 97. That's when he stopped driving it and he got the family and all that stuff. And he was saving it for his son. Son don't want no part of that car. Son's like 25, 30 years old. He didn't want no part of the car. And I told him, say, yo, when you're ready, let me know. I want to be the first person that you offer this car to when you get rid of it. No, I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm going to fix it and everything like that. He likes the allure of the car. He likes the idea of, hey, this is my college car. I like to drive it around and everything like that. But he's not thinking, and I told him, I said, Sterling, you're not thinking. This car is, this ain't like your Audi you got out there, Unless you really like this car, love this car, you're not going to, you're going to drop a lot of money into this car and it's going to ride like it did back in 87.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get used to all the squeaks, all the rattles, all the allure which people like us like about these old school cars, which I don't think he's going to like about it. He thinks he's going to replace and then once he gets the bill, molding like $500, $600, he's going to be like, I get rid of this car. So I'm just waiting. So fellas, you might see me with a G body soon.
Yep.
Wait him out.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, and I'll take that car.
Those are great cars.
I don't think he has I'm trying to think. Is it a T? It's not a T-roof car, so I like that. I don't want a T-roof. It's a hard top. So I'm just waiting.
Actually,
you need another project like you need another nose on your face.
Yeah, but I'd rather just sit in my possession. I'll let it sit. Don't touch it.
Right.
I'd rather it accrue in my possession than accrue someone else's possession.
Crew. Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I'll just be like, I'm getting rid of everything. I'm just gonna go and build this Grand National.
Yeah, right.
Of course, between the two of us, who picked up another project this week?
Oh, let me guess.
My fourth 98 Daytona pace car.
Ah.
Wow.
Nice.
So
Your fourth.
Yeah, this one's really rare. So they only made 1,500 of the Grand Prix Daytona packages. So this one's 1104 out of 1,500. And then of those 1,500, only 200 got sunroofs from the factory. And of the 1,500, only 150 went to SLP for their GTX appearance package, which was a dealer installed appearance option. And as far as me and my friend can tell, the overlap between the 150 that went to SLP and the 200 sunroof cars, we think it's 12 or 13. So as far as factory options, this is like a 1 of 12.
Wow.
Nice.
So SLP
Yeah,
made the GXP? No, what is it?
The GXP was a all GM package that they offered on the later model Grand Prix with the front wheel drive V8.
Right.
The GTX was an SLP appearance package, and then for the V6 version of the Grand Prix, you could get different stages. So the GTX stage 1 was appearance only. It was a Ram Air style hood, wheels, and then an optional spoiler. And then the GTX stage 2, they put a catback on and an air intake. And then the GTX stage 3, they actually put a smaller pulley on the supercharger from the factory. Well, dealer installed factory service option, whatever you want to call it. But the cars that were selected, so you had to order this package from the dealership when you ordered the car. And the GTX cars actually got an extra RPO code on their tag. And the RPO code for GTX is WS6, just like the SLP Trans Am package was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a
Cool.
WS6 Grand Prix with a sunroof, and it's a pace car.
So is it white? Is that what?
No,
I'm looking
all the
online.
pace car,
Or blue?
all the pace cars in '98 were medium Gulf blue. It was the first year for that color from GM, and the only way to get it was on the pace car. In '99, it became available on, I think, the Blazer and the Camaro.
All right, guys.
Heck yeah.
Get out of here.
All right, Jim.
I'll see
All
you
right,
then.
Jim.
Take care. Good to
Take
see
care,
you.
Jim.
See you, Jim.
Later, Jim.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I'm looking online. It looks like there's Grand Prix with all kinds of graphics and like checkers on it and stuff like that. I don't know what those are.
Yep. So the track used ones,
Daytona.
like at Daytona, Brickyard used the Grand Prix in '98 and '99. There's a couple of track used ones, and those ones got beefed up appearance packages. But GM knew ahead of time that they were going to have the '98 Daytona pace car be a Grand Prix, so they also released for dealer purchase these 1,500 numbered cars, and they got a special badge package, special colored wheels, and an individual uniquely numbered dash plaque.
Cool.
What
Nice.
time frame was this? 99?
That was '98.
98.
And then some other Grand Prix got used as pace cars in several NASCAR and other race series pace car applications in '99, but most of those were just supplied by a local dealer or whatever, and then they slapped some lights and graphics on them. But then in 2000, the Daytona 500 pace car was a Grand Prix again. So they did another special order Daytona package. That one got a little bit more fancy stuff than the '98 did. In 2000, all the pace cars were a color called Galaxy Silver, and they only made 2,000 of them. Unfortunately, they did not get individually numbered plaques. All the plaques on those cars say 1 of 2,000. But they got a different graphics package. They got special wheels. They got a special spoiler. They got add-on urethane roof rails to make the roof profile of the car look more like a NASCAR with that roof, the air dam on the roof. And they got specially embroidered two-tone seats.
I'll have to look because during that time frame, I went to Daytona every year.
Okay.
So, and usually when you bought the book, not the yearbook, but the program, it had the track car with it. It came with a
cool.
small Hot Wheels. It wasn't from Hot Wheels. It was usually it could be Johnny Lightning or it was Racing Champions. Most likely it was Racing Champions. But then it had a track car. It usually had the track car. Sometimes it was a race car. Sometimes it was the field car. So
Nice.
I'll have to go back and look because the last year I went was what was that, 2001, right? Because that's when Earnhardt died. I was there that day. I was at Daytona. Was that 2001? Yeah, 2001. That was the last. That was the last. That was the last time I went to Daytona. But I had gone.
So if you went to if you went to Daytona in '98, you should have seen that medium Gulf blue pace car.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I need to go back and look because, like I said, I have all the programs and track cars and all that stuff that I got. I had to go back and dig through because that'd be interesting to see what they actually, if that's what they used. Because I remember the because I think the big tracks had the those Daytonas. Talladega, Daytona, Charlotte. I think the 4 big tracks and the one out in California.
Yeah, I know someone that has a 99 two-door Grand Prix that was it was a dealer donated car, but it was done up with all the graphics package and stuff and used as a pace car for the Indy 500, I think, or Brickyard. It was either the Brickyard race or Indy 500.
You had Brickyard, Daytona, Talladega, the one racetrack out in Los Angeles, or California, and the big guys. I think they had those Daytonas. For some reason, I want to say Dover did too. I don't even know if I have.
Did they race in Dover back in the late 90s?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Dover's been since 60 whatever. I mean, they've had that.
Gotcha.
I mean, that track's changed. I used to do I would do Daytona, Richmond, Charlotte, Bristol, and Dover, and that's like the first 7 races or 5 races of the year, and I would run that whole circuit. I did that for 10 years straight, dude. I was going and
can't hide money.
Yeah, tell me about it. I did a real good job at that. Of course, I lost it all, but that's a different story.
Hey Brian, you were there when Earnhardt died?
Oh yeah.
How did they play it off? Because I was watching it and I seen it and I just saw him get into like a little accident.
Dude, I want to tell you, I had the headphones. I mean, I had a 2-way radio, and I usually just listen to my driver, but I had all the frequencies to infield and the corner guys and all that stuff. So anytime you had an incident, you just flip through the scanner and hit those guys and you could hear what was being said. And I remember, well, like I said, I followed Bill Elliott. So during the race, I had Bill Elliott on the whole time, just listening to him talking to his crew and his crew talking and everything going on. And of course, on that last lap, he passes when all that stuff is going on. And he even said that didn't look good. So they come on down. And of course, I flipped over to the officials, and it started out saying, there's a problem. We got an issue, call for the unmarked. It was unmarked tow truck. And that's usually not a good sign, had no affiliation with anything. And, but then all of a sudden, even the scanner went blank. There was no more. They cut all that stuff because everybody started getting on. You can listen to any part of the race or from anybody, or so forth. So
because it didn't look like much of a hit.
Yeah, well, he had his belt off, but
had his belt off.
Yeah, he took his belt off, or they say it ripped, but. It all depends on, like I said, from people that I know or things I've talked, that he had loosened. He was coming to the end, and of course his son and his car. His car's out there. Like I said, there was a lot of strange parts about that race of him.
That was the first Daytona that both the Earnhardts raced, wasn't it?
I don't know. No. They had raced before.
Yeah.
But that was his car. Michael was in his car. That was his team, and Junior.
It was in the number 8.
It was in it, right. That was also his car, right? It was from
yeah. Both of those are DEI.
Both his cars were DEI cars, and they're out there. But they're, like I said, it really depends. There was some stuff, and like you said, we'll never know what really happened. But the scanner stopped talking afterwards. There was no more. You just couldn't hear anything.
Well, and it was tell by the demeanor of the guys in the announcement booth, Darrell Waltrip and
when Schrader told them all that he had to get there quicker, and I heard, like I said, I heard Richard Childress yelling into the mic, Dale, say something, it's all really, really bizarre. And the guy that I went with, the buddy that I went with, he had a scanner, and that was his guy, or even more. He, like I said, I was just flipping through. There was so much radio going on. Then all of a sudden, it just kind of went dead. There was really no more on that, and it was bizarre. It was strange. I mean, it was one of those things that you never forget.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you watched that documentary with Michael Waltrip. That was really good.
Yeah, and I mean, and oddly enough, we left and we went to Halifax. We went to the hospital and everything, but we couldn't get anywhere near by that time.
Yeah.
Because the guy I went with, he actually had a family member at the hospital. So,
right.
But
yeah,
but oddly enough, there was a Walmart across the street, and I told Rich, that's the guy I went with. We worked together, and I told Rich, I said, we need to get over to Walmart and buy up all the Dale Earnhardt stuff. And he wanted a car, he wanted a car, and I said, we need to get over there, and he was like, are you serious? And I said, dude, I'm telling you. So we went across the street, went over to the Walmart, and we picked up his last car, the car that he crashed in, because they had actually changed it, because he had gotten the first cars did not have the Oreo cookie on it, because he got that sponsor when he was at Daytona. So the first cars that were released didn't have that on that, and then they came out with the second release with the Oreo cookie on it. And as soon as he picked one up, man, 8, 10, 15 people were just running down the aisles, and they were just fucking grabbing all that shit, throwing it all in the bags, going out. It was unbelievable. He just looked at me and he goes, man, how did you? I said, these guys are fucking animals.
Yep.
And you're one of them.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't go in there to grab every one, but I told him, if you want one, you better go get it, because you ain't gonna find it after that. Or you can find it after that, but everybody wants $1 million for it.
Yeah, I've got the 2001 Monte
Look at
Carlo
these
number
animals
3
here.
plastic model kit that's still in the wrapping. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was something. So.
Hey guys,
Like
I
I
gotta
said,
jump.
I was actually watching the race, and the race was over, and he hits someone, I guess, and I was just like, oh, well, accident happened. Didn't think nothing of it, Yeah. The next thing I heard
last
was
lap, last turn.
He smacked right into the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came down and got tangled up with Kenny Schrader.
Just ran through.
And he went up and got hit at it was not a 90, it was kind of at a 45-degree angle and hit, and then came down. But they speculate, or they said, and he was one that wear his belts a little loose, but they said that he had loosened his belts up more than normal. And of course, under the impact and the steering wheel and everything, coming up and hitting him.
Yeah, that was when you watch that wreck in replay. He gets fishtailed, and then he goes up the track, hits the wall nose first, and then Schrader T-bones him, and then both their cars slide off the track while everybody else is going around.
Yeah, well, Sterling Marlin was the one during the pass that got him loose. It was Sterling Marlin. Yeah. That's who it was. It wasn't Kenny Schrader. It was Sterling Marlin. Yeah.
And after that, they came up with the Hans device, I think, right?
Yeah, actually, the Hans device was out by then. It had already started. It was already starting, and
it just wasn't mandatory
but one
yet,
of the
right?
biggest problems, One of the biggest
I
problems.
think it wasn't mandatory yet.
No, it wasn't mandatory. It was just starting, but a lot, like I said, but one of the biggest problems, the older guys all had open face helmets. They didn't want to change to the closed face. And they all had open face helmets. and that was one of the things that, and of course, they a lot of some of the other safety items or stuff that was being developed, this wasn't, intact yet, or, normal use.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm gonna jump ship. Got an early start.
Hey, Lewis.
See you, man.
Hey, Lewis. Real quick, I looked that up and you sent that to me. It's 91.9 miles.
Okay.
It's about an hour, and I think it said hour 45 minutes.
If you go 91 miles an hour, though.
Well, yeah.
And, it's got like 3 different ways I can go. Where the nice thing is I don't have to go all the way into Phoenix. It's if I go the furthest route, I could get off where Firebird Raceway is, which is probably about 15, 20 miles outside of Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
So
all right.
it's doable.
All right, I'll let you know. See what we can do.
Yeah, the big thing, like I was saying, the big thing is if they're open on a Saturday.
Okay.
Then I can definitely work something out.
Oh, you're sending him to Signature Solar.
Huh?
You're sending him to Signature Solar.
All right. You want to get a couple?
Yeah.
I got a cousin in Phoenix. I might be able to get him to go grab them, and then you can get them anytime from him.
Okay.
So I'll let
I
you
need
know.
35 though.
Well, we might as well get the pallet.
I was gonna say, how many?
I told you before. We need to go in on a pallet.
My money's kind of funny.
Well,
You're kind of funny. Come on,
my
man.
house.
Everybody.
How'd that George Thorogood go? You're kind of funny.
I have 4 showings on the house tomorrow and 3 scheduled for Saturday. So, if it sells in a timely manner, I'll just get the pallet and then you can buy some from me because the shipping's free when you get the pallet.
What does the pallet go for?
Depends on which panels you get.
Well, those.
But we want the big dog ones, the nice ones.
Yeah, those 450 watt jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just depends where you're buying from. Some pallets are 33. Some pallets are only 28. It just depends.
That doesn't sound
So
too
the ones
bad.
I was looking at, I think it's going to be like 6,000, I think.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just on.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. The battery storage is what's real expensive for the solar stuff, though.
Yep.
Batteries are pricey.
I got that server rack that I sent you earlier.
You sent me a link for an inverter.
Oh, well, I got that inverter and the server rack, 40 watt. No, wait. What is it? 48 watt volt.
48 volt.
Yeah, 48 volt server rack, 100 amp.
Oh shit! So you used that invoice, didn't you?
Huh?
Yeah, you used that invoice, didn't you?
That's where it is.
Well, there you go.
That's about gone
I
already.
think I'm gonna jump ship too. I'm gonna
See you, Joey.
go ahead and get some rest. I got a long day tomorrow, and hopefully get a truck bed moved over here to the shop tomorrow. So.
Yeah.
All right, Joey.
All right,
Okay,
Joey. I'll
See you,
get
man.
that to you Sunday.
Sounds good. Talk to you later, guys.
All right, fellas. Hey, everybody have a good week and stay safe.
Yeah.
We will see you
And
next
And then
week.
there were 3. I'm going to jump 2 because I want to get back to Akuta. Get on it, actually.
Well, Terry, I sent you a friend
He's barely even
request
said
on
hi.
Facebook.
Let's
Joey
see.
Collins. Joey Collins.
He ignores him. I sent one a year ago. He blew me off.
Well, he don't want to be coached around. So.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a lie.
Hey,
Let's see.
Tyler.
Yeah.
That the blue and white one, the one with the checker. What year was that one?
I believe that is the Brickyard car.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. So that would have been 99. They got all the pace cars in 99 got those white multi-spoke wheels, so they're a little easier to tell.
So what kind of shape is
this-
when you got?
See, this one here is Dover from 2000. Okay, and it has the Interstate because Interstate sponsored the race, and of course Pontiac was one of the cars.
Yeah,
The
so that's one of the track
Dover
cars,
tracks,
the race cars.
The Dover tracks never came with event cars; they always came with a patch.
Okay.
So they had different patches, and I can't remember if it was 2000 or 99. I was there the year that they concreted the place. Because it used to be asphalt, and the first year it was concrete. And actually, I was up there. We had gone up, got the wife up, threw her in the car. We drive all the way up there. We're there like 6 a.m. before, because I would sneak in. I would get in and then go into the garage, before anybody was really there, and walk around. And we get up there and we go in. First year for the concrete track. What they called it, White Lightning, that year, because the track was white, with concrete. We get up in there. We get in. Next thing you know, it's about 6:30 in the morning. I guess 7 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden the gates close. And Jenny goes, "Hey, the gates are closing," and I was like, "Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Let's just sit back and wait." And all of a sudden you hear the car start up, and they had tire problems. So Goodyear flew in a whole bunch of new tires. So literally we are sitting on the pit wall, and these cars are going by at 200 miles an hour testing, and we're sitting right on pit row.
Wow.
It was crazy. It was the craziest thing ever, just sitting in there.
So that's the back end of either the 98 or 99 Pepsi 400 at Daytona track pace car.
Yeah, I'll have to dig up and see if I have any pictures. It'd be kind of interesting to see if they had anything written on them, because like I said, those event cars, they got a little bit of show. I mean, I'm sure if I go through a handful of my pictures, I probably got them, the pictures of them. But I think it was, I don't know what year it was, because I have one a patch, and it said White Lightning, because that was the first year of the concrete track. This must have been the second year. It might have been 99 or 98.
Yeah. Well, guys, have a great night. We'll catch you
Take
around
care,
on the
Joe.
next
Yeah.
one.
All right, Joe.
Thank you, man.
See you, Joey.
Me too. Take care, Joey.
Hey, Joey.
Yeah, that was and it was terrible, because we're sitting there, and I guess it was the race gas or something. Somebody had poured out, and Jenny had gotten it all, and her leg broke out and swelled up. And of course, you're sitting there in August and 200-degree temperature, and the track. It was terrible. I'm surprised she didn't divorce me.
So it's really hard to find a picture of the pace car on the track for the 98 Daytona 500, because another significant event happened that year.
What year?
98.
98.
Yeah. Dale Earnhardt won in the Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
So almost every picture is of Earnhardt on, leading the pack or on victory lane, or darn near all of them.
Oh, that's I wish I could find those things faster, because kind of curious, because even in the in the Dover one, there's no pictures of the pace car. There's a whole bunch of pictures of them taking the field, but there's no pace car.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
They used another Grand Prix, a white one with blue checkers on it, in 2001 for the Daytona 500 as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of shape is yours in, Tyler?
Which one?
The one you just got. Wait,
the
how
one
many
I
of
just
these
got
pace cars do you have?
I have 4. So I have number 158, which was it spent all of its life in Georgia, and the paint is a little bit sun faded on the roof, but that one is going to become a back half big tire drag car.
Okay.
And then I have number 299, which is really rotted out, but I have the complete interior and all the special badging for it. Because so for the 98 Daytonas, they didn't really get anything fancy other than 2 door badges, some graphics on the outside, and the special the paint code for the year was unique. But that numbered plaque that went on the center console, that's like the whole identity of the car, and that's what really makes or breaks a 98 Daytona pace car. Because it could have everything else, it could be a real pace car. If it doesn't have that numbered plaque in the middle, that's its whole identity. You know.
Did anybody keep track of the VINs? Is there a list of the VINs?
Supposedly, you can call GM in the heritage department and find out some more information based on the VIN. I know a couple people who have called in with the VIN of their 2000 pace car edition and gotten the number of production that their car is. So, like, for example, a friend of mine lives in Detroit, and he has number 1157 of all of the 2000 pace cars, which they made 2000 of those. But I also, so 299 is complete but rotted out. 747 is my show car that I built in 2016 and 17. It's got a fully shaved and wire tucked engine bay. I took it to Pontiac Nationals in 2017, and several people didn't believe that it actually ran. I had to start it for them because you can't see any wires under the hood.
Yeah,
which is kind of impressive considering it's still fuel injected. And then this one is 1103, the one I just picked up. So
nice car.
It's in good shape. So you only have one that's rotted.
Yeah, it's
one that's rotted out.
It's pristine.
Nice.
When I first saw this car was in 2016. A friend of mine that lives about an hour away wanted to buy a 98 pace car because he saw mine and really liked it. He had a 2000 pace car already, and he liked the blue better than the silver. So he found this one. We realized right away that it was a pretty oddball because it was a sunroof car. I did not even know that any of the 98 Daytonas came with a sunroof previous to that. So we started doing some research. We found out it was a true GTX car. It's got the installed by SLP sticker on the inside of the door. And then we did some more research and we realized that this was probably almost one of single digit car.
Yeah.
So he sent me up with the money to buy it up to upstate New York, clear up to, this guy's backyard was basically Canada. And I looked at, it was about this time of year too. I think it was either February or March in 2017. And it checked out. Everything was clean, no rust under the car. It was all stock still. So I went ahead and bought it for him. I brought it home, made it all the way back to Cleveland, and got caught in a whiteout blizzard snowstorm, and was crawling down the highway at 25 miles an hour in 4-wheel drive in my truck, and couldn't see more than 2-3 cars in front of me. And somehow I ran over a broken wrench, and it went into my tire. And so I ended up spending all night on the side of the interstate in Cleveland, snowplows whizzing by, all that good stuff. Because, of course, I had 35s on the truck, so I couldn't just pop a spare on,
Right.
So I already had a lot of history with this car. Plus, then we both kind of built both of our pace cars side by side, 2016 winter going into 2017, and we both did a lot of work on each car. He helped me, I helped him. And then we wanted to take them both to one of the last Pontiac shows in Detroit called the 3800 Gathering. So it was all W body and 3800 powered Pontiacs. And they opened it up to all platforms that shared those denominators, but because we did so much work on his and made his so nice, we didn't finish mine in time. So, but then he called me a couple months ago and said, "Hey, I'm getting rid of this car." He's got a GTO now, and that's his new baby. So I said, "Yeah, I definitely want it. As soon as the house sells, I'll have cash freed up to go ahead and pay you for it." So,
Wow.
Didn't you?
it's in good shape though.
Didn't you take a Grand Prix or something like that and convert it to rear wheel drive?
No, so that's been on my list of desired projects for about 15 years. Ever since I got my first Grand Prix, I bought all the suspension from a Rex G8 in 2009, and I had everything to start my rear wheel drive conversion. But then I got married and I bought a house, and kind of just life took precedence, and I ended up selling off all my stuff. But I was going to do an all-wheel drive Grand Prix back then. A friend of mine lives in North Carolina. His name's also Tyler, and he has built 2 of that body style Grand Prix that are rear wheel drive, a black one and a red one.
He's got a beard.
You probably
he's got a beard kind of like yours, right?
Yeah,
shorter,
kind of.
maybe
Yeah,
shorter. Yeah, I think
yeah,
I've
a little
seen
bit shorter.
I think I've seen his stuff.
His YouTube channel is Auto Tech Tyler, I think.
Yeah,
and the red car that he just built, he used a modern Mustang independent rear suspension and independent front suspension, all from a Mustang. He even swapped the dash over and everything, but it's LS powered and rear wheel drive, obviously. But that car is called Suzy Q, and he took it to LS fast, and tons of people were amazed by it, But I have 14 of those body style cars out back. All of them are project cars for one day. I've got one that I want to cut up and run a twin motor setup. So it's a front wheel drive motor in the front and a front wheel drive motor in the back. So I've seen 2 of those built.
Hot Rod Garage did one with the Impala, I think, right?
Yeah, they did the Impala. I've seen 2 Grand Prix. Yeah, and I've seen a Bonneville. So I think I've seen 4 cars with the 3800 front wheel drive, rear wheel drive. 2 powertrains, 2 transmissions, and then someone did it. I forget what kind of car it was, but they used the LS4, which is the LS front wheel drive V8, and they used 2 of those. So it's all wheel drive, but 2 engines, 2 transmissions.
Yeah, I think that's what they did on Hot Rod Garage. On there, they had a Malibu SS or Impala SS, right?
Oh, that could be it. Yeah, maybe that's that one.
I mean, it was hacked, though. I mean, it was hacked together, right? It was.
Oh yeah. Well, in order for it to work and have your drivetrain geometry line up for the rear, the engine has to be where the back seat was.
Yeah, I think that's what they had to do.
There's no 2 ways about it. I mean, unless you're just trying to make like a crazy burnout machine, then you could spin it around and have both engines going forwards but pulling against each other. That'd be crazy.
Justin, did you see them build that thing on?
Yeah, I watched a couple episodes on it.
Do they still have the steering, or did they lock the rear? They welded
they locked the rear. They did like some custom fab stuff on the rear suspension, K-member, whatnot.
Yeah.
So I see they just cut that car up.
I know that's what I was referring to. Yeah, they cut it up and they took one of the engines and used it on something else.
They're making a new Maserati out of it.
Oh, the Maserati. That's right. Yeah, and then it'll get stolen again.
Yeah. So I actually have an LS4 sitting here waiting to go in my dad's 40th Grand Prix. It'll be the only 40th anniversary edition Grand Prix that I know of that has a V8 in it. It'll still be front wheel drive and all that stuff. And I'm going to try and keep the tap shift functionality in the transmission and all that.
Yeah.
Trying to make it look, like GM did it. Trying to make it look stock. Yeah. Then I've got a Pontiac Montana minivan out back, which shares all the same front drivetrain components and suspension mounts and all that stuff as the Grand Prix, the W bodies. So I was going to do either a supercharged 3800 in the van, make it a 400 wheel horsepower parts getter. Yeah, sleeper van. I was gonna call it the blue baller because it's blue and they're not very heavy, especially with all the seats stripped out of them. So, you know, with a decent sized pulley and an intercooler and a cam and some other stuff, that thing would be pretty surprising for some people. But you know, one of these days I'll get around to all these different projects I have.
Yeah, I'm assuming I got too many projects.
You get any ideas, Justin?
Oh, I got a ton of them, man.
Soon as the rent checks start coming in from Terry.
Yeah.
I got plenty of ideas. Tell you that.
Yeah, I've got you guys know the Bonneville GXP?
Yeah.
That was the last body style Bonneville, and they put the North Star 4.6 in it. I've got 3 of those. The goal was to take one of those and convert it to rear wheel drive, not with the North Star.
I was gonna ask.
Get the thing out of there.
Don't do that. Although I did see
Yeah.
a North Star swapped Fiero that was pretty kick ass.
Yeah, and I will say that last generation of North Stars, the 3rd gen 4.6s, they fixed most of the issues. They still had a weak head gasket thing, but that was an actual gasket failure, not pulling threads out of the block like the previous generations were.
Right.
There's guys that are taking those motors because they're dual overhead cam or single or dual overhead cam. I can't remember. They'll rev to the moon, no problem. And there's a particular racing league. I forget what it is, but they take those, they bulletproof them, and they make like freaking 550 NA horsepower at like 9,000 RPM once you build them out.
That's
so.
Cool.
But that's
I
a very
used to
small.
sell a lot of those the kits to fix those.
The time cert kit.
Yeah, the time cert. I mean, I tell you.
Yeah, I have a time cert kit for the 1st generation North Stars. So the 4.0 and the 4.6 both use the same head pattern, I think, in the 1st generation. And I fixed like 4 of those when I first started my shop, and I was like, you know what, this ain't for me.
Yeah, that was
It's just a
like
pain.
that. I had that kit on the truck, and then of course the where you blew the head, the spark plugs out of the Fords, the the modular, the 3-valve motor.
Yeah, the spark plug extractor and rethread kit.
Yeah, man, I don't have the plug kit, but I do have the one to pull the broken spark plugs out. And it's funny, every once in a while I get a phone call from one of the newer guys, and they're like, "Hey, this guy's talking about something to take out these spark plugs. Do you have that kit?" I say, "Yeah." And they said, "Why do you still have one?" I said, "Because of this. You still come across them on a Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock, and you spend all day trying to, get these spark plugs out of those Fords." So still sell those kits, but they're pretty much either all been fixed or they're all. I mean, it's hard to believe that's almost like a 20-year-old motor now,
Yeah,
they are.
So those problems aren't no more. So
did they make a all-wheel drive Grand Prix? I thought they did.
They made a prototype. Yep, it's called the G8 concept car, and G8 on that stood for Generation 8. It would have been the 8th generation Grand Prix.
Yeah.
It was a transverse mounted LS1 with the 4T65 all-wheel drive drivetrain from the Aztec, and it was real slapdash put together by GM. They put like a wide body flare kit on it, and they made it I don't know, it looks like something that they just slammed together in like 3 months. They tried to do some track testing with it to see if they could get it to make a quarter-mile pass, and they broke the rear diff every time.
Yeah.
And then reportedly to refuel it, they had to jack it up and like tilt it to the side to get the tank to fill. Some goofy stuff. So That was a one-of-one concept car. I think that one may have gotten crushed. I can't remember.
It's like orange or
But that
something.
was in like 99 or 2000.
2000 all-wheel drive concept. Yeah, it's got
Yep.
big wing on the back, big nostrils.
Yep. The weird, goofy, like that hood's supposed to look like the old like not Grand Theory.
Grand
The
Am.
Grand Prix. Yeah, the Grand Am and the Grand Prix had the like forced induction hood back in the 60s
Yeah.
with the weird raised nostrils. Yeah.
It doesn't look good because it's got
it's
the thing on the
it's
hood.
not real attractive.
Yeah, and then it's got the ones
Now-
in the regular grill.
Now type in GPX 300 concept. George Paul X-ray
300.
300.
Let me go to images. 4-door. Okay.
Yep. 4-door wide body kit.
Yep.
That was the original body style concept car for the 6th generation Grand Prix platform. And the reason it's called GPX 300 is it was going to be factory intercooled and have 300 crank horsepower instead of the 240 that the GTP came out with afterwards.
It looks like a
that's
a nose
it.
off of a
Gosh, if it'll
yeah.
go off,
Looks like
yeah,
the
that
nose
does.
off the newer GTOs.
Yeah,
Right.
real similar.
Yeah.
That's a sexy
So
car.
in 97, when that came out, if it had had 300 wheel horsepower, it would have made quicker passes in the quarter mile than the Corvette.
Yeah, you can't have that. Yeah.
Yep. So GM marketing execs said, nope, no intercooler, put a bigger pulley on it, just
Slow it
the
down.
240 flywheel horsepower.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
I don't get why GM did that stuff. I mean, same with the Grand National was faster than the Corvette. Then the Cyclone came out and it was quicker. They're like, oh, we can't. You know.
Yep.
That was the issue with
Can't
the
have that.
Fiero. The Fiero could have been something nice.
Oh yeah,
but-
just when they got all the problems worked out with the Fiero, they're like, let's get rid of it. We're done.
yeah. Can't
Yeah,
have it
yeah.
compete
If they had
against
ever
our-
put any kind of motor in the Fiero that had any balls behind it, that thing would have been a rocket ship.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Even that anemic V6 they put in there, the 2.8 or whatever.
Mhm.
You know, those are pretty quick with the manual transmission.
Yeah.
My buddy has one. They swapped a 3800 with the supercharger into the Fiero. I've done that swap a couple times for people, and that makes a hell of a fun car. With just an intercooler and a pulley and a cam, you know, you're making like 330, 340 horsepower to the wheels out of a Fiero.
Was the Fiero
And,
weigh
tw-
like
and
2,500 pounds, less than $3,000, 3,000 pounds?
yeah, and the weight bias is like 65% rear, so
Yeah.
it's a traction monster. And then the 3800 with the supercharger on it, that's a very torquey drivetrain. So they're a ton of fun to drive.
Yeah.
The problem is it's a cardboard and fiberglass death trap with a interior build quality comparable roughly to club car golf carts from 1972.
Yeah.
And the center console is also your gas tank.
Yeah, it's good to have that right there.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know what you think.
Right.